is regarding taxi at night. We have two similar questions, so I'll address them in the same. I'll mention both questions first. I have a question. I am a Uber driver and do not work nights, as I believe taking money from someone who I am taking to get intoxicated is haram. Can you give your views on this subject for me? So that was the first question. And the second question is it permissible to work as an Uber Eats delivery driver as you have to deliver haram food? If not, what should be done with the money earned? So they're both kind of similar questions. So a similar question can be found from the time of Imam Azam, Imam Abu Hanifa rahmatullahi alayhi, where the question was that is it permissible to earn a fee for transporting alcohol to a non-Muslim? So basically, like the taxi driver, you can say, but it's the actual alcohol itself to a non-Muslim. So there were two opinions. One was of Imam Abu Hanifa rahmatullahi alayhi, and he said that the sin is in the drinking of the alcohol itself, not in the transportation. The transportation within itself is not a sin, it's not a guna. Therefore, it would be permissible. However, according to the two students of Imam Abu Hanifa rahmatullahi alayhi, and we mentioned their names last week, number one, Imam Abu Yusuf rahmatullahi alayhi, and number two, Imam Muhammad rahmatullahi alayhi. These two students of Imam Abu Hanifa rahmatullahi alayhi, they stated that it would be makruh tahrimi, basically haram, and the money earned would be unlawful, because they class delivering the alcohol as also a form of assisting in sin. Originally, when I wrote this fatwa and issued this ruling, and the answer was getting verified by my teacher Mufti Sufi Tahir Saab, I had originally wrote that the first opinion is the preferred opinion, that it would be halal. But Sufi Saab said, no, this is incorrect. There is no superiority of one opinion of either Imam Saab's or his two students. There is no superiority of one opinion over the other. Neither opinion can be given preference. And if anything, the second opinion has been the one preferred by the scholars in previous times, because it is the precautious opinion. However, in this day and age, so there are basically two types of scholars even now. Some will give the ruling according to the two students of Imam Saab, and some will give the ruling according to Imam Abu Hanifa rahmatullahi alayhi's ruling. But in this day and age, there needs to be some sort of flexibility in this, and upon this, many of our scholars now, they give the ruling upon the first opinion that yes, it will be allowed and the income earned will be 100% halal. There is no doubt in it being halal. And the same again for Uber Eats. That was one was for taxi driver at night, and for Uber Eats, both are the same. The income earned will be halal, because it's not classed as assisting in sin. However, the money earned though, even though it's 100% halal, it will be devoid of barakah, or it will be less in barakah compared to another job. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala actually commands us in the Quran Kareem, Ya ayyuhan nas kulu mimma fil ardi halalan tayyiba. Eat from the earth that which is pure and wholesome. So even though it is halal, sometimes it is not sufficient just to look at if something is halal or haram. Rather, we must evaluate and look if it is wholesome, if it is recommended or not. So this job, even though it is halal, it will not have the same barakah as another job. And barakah, a simple translation, barakah is something less, but its benefits are a lot. So this small amount of money, from it you will see a lot of benefit. And this, I have seen with my own eyes. I have heard stories of our teachers in Darul Uloom Berry, that they would be working in Darul Uloom. Either they'd be working for free, they would be working for very minimum wage. Yet every year they and their families would go for Umrah. Where if a person was to calculate, this was their only job, maybe a maktab job, if you were to calculate their incomes and you were to compare it with the outcomes, the outcome, the expenditure is a lot more than their income. And you're thinking, how are they getting this money? Where? This is barakah. And it reminds me of an incident of the Prophet ﷺ where there was one cup of milk. He drank, he instructed the Sahaba Kiram to drink from this. There were so many Sahaba. The Rawi, I think, Hazrat Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu, he was thinking that I wanted this milk, I was so hungry. Yet this milk was passed through all of the Sahaba. And then I drank it. And my stomach was filled with this milk, with this one glass of milk. And then the Prophet ﷺ had this milk. And once I had it, it was as if nobody had drank from it. So this is barakah. One glass of milk, but everybody managed to have it. And lack of barakah. You may have lots of money, but you will see that it's basically disappearing somewhere. You will get fines out of nowhere. You'll be calculating money. You'll be like, where did that money go? That is barakah. And it's important to remember that the effect of what we eat, the effect of the income that we earn also has an effect on our spiritual soul. It has an effect on our ability to do a good deed.